My name's David Story, and I'm the curriculum manager for engineering. I'm not an engineer. I'll be handing over to my colleague Nick shortly, who teaches full-time and manages the department. It's great to have you all with us, and hopefully the session will give you a flavour of the many engineering courses that we do. We run them from level 2, which is just below GCSE level, all the way through to level 5 higher national diploma. So there is a little bit of something for everybody, and there's also a nice progression pathway for those who want to get thoroughly qualified. The final slide does have an email address on for the info mailbox at college. You're welcome to send questions through email to that one. If we're slow to respond, or you need to kind of talk things through, you're also welcome to ring the main reception, and they'll put you through to us, and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions. If at some point in the future the college opens up and restrictions are lifted a little bit and we can do a physical open event, of course we'd love to. We're all quite sad that we're not able to do that at the moment. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to Mick, and I'll just operate the slides for now, and I'll jump back in as and when Mick needs me to.
Cheers, David. Thank you for the introduction. As David said, my name is Mick Wilson. I'm the manager of the department for engineering. I will sort of go through the courses as in detail as possible to give you a good understanding of what we can offer at Selby College. David, if you could just move to the next slide. So if you're not particularly familiar with the area, or you're not quite sure where Selby College is situated, it has excellent travel links, whether it's by bus or train. We're actually only a mile or so away from the bus and train station, so a 20-minute walk. And we're also quite close to the town centre, again, just a 20-25-minute walk away. Lots of amenities around us to enjoy on sort of break times and things like that. The engineering department itself consists of a number of classrooms, a number of workshops, which are very specialist to engineering. As you can see on the right-hand side of the PowerPoint slide, there's a few photos there from inside the machining workshop. It's fully kitted out so that students can have the best possible experience with using industry technology and equipment, and allows them to operate these machines at their own pace. There's enough machines in there so that you can operate them individually, get familiar with them, so that when you do get a career in engineering, you know exactly what it is that you need to be, or how you're operating them and how to use them. If we can go to the next slide. One of the reasons, or the biggest reason for me at least, right now, particularly for the reasons to consider engineering, is that even though the difficult times that we're in at the minute, there's evidence that the industry continues to grow, it continues to recruit, and it continues to grow across all aspects of engineering. We at the moment have collaborated with IT, which is another industry which is continually evolving and taking on board all new technologies and running with it. And engineering is not just about becoming dirty anymore. It is all about the IT side of things as well, particularly with things such as PLCs and CAD software, computer programming, managing sites, managing projects and things like that. And the wages are exceptionally good, particularly even through apprenticeship level. Generally speaking now, apprenticeships can start on £18,000 a year, which for an apprenticeship is phenomenal. And depending on how specialist you go in the particular field that you go into, you can be earning well over 100 grand a year. And then you've got the company benefits on top of that. So there's multiple reasons to consider engineering as a future. If we can go on to the next slide, David. So As I said, we offer a range of different courses within engineering. We start at level 2. It is mainly practical based at level 2, so you will cover things such as welding and machining. It's sort of like the main competencies of mechanical engineering. You then also have your level 3 qualification. There are it's a mixture, a multi-skill sort of course, which brings out the mechanical side of the industry and also electrical. So there's various different units that you'll be incorporated in that. At the minute, sort of work placement and things are quite difficult, as I'm sure you can understand, with social distancing. But we aim to always ensure that we have a work placement. So certainly in the future, we are we've had work placements in the past, and we certainly are hoping to continue having work placements. And we always aim to get you into an area of engineering, an industry, a company of engineering that is specific to your course that you're on. So whether it's mechanical, you'd be based within a company that does mechanical engineering, and likewise if you're electrical, you'd be going through to do an electrical engineering department or company. And then we also offer the higher education and apprenticeships, which open up the gateway to going to universities. And we actually also offer night classes for different things such as welding, for sort of being industry specialisms, for different codings, which are internationally recognized. So we offer quite a range of things, which are all very prompt at the moment. If we go on to the next slide. The level 3 engineering course, just in a little bit more detail, it's primarily set over a 2-year course. As I say, it's sort of a multi-skill that covers both mechanical and electrical units. The first year is split into a particular category for a subsidiary diploma. So if you were to find yourself an apprenticeship within that first year, you could leave and still get a qualification, but it is primarily set up that you would stay for the full 2 years. Again, it opens up the gateway to go on to the higher education, as the full 2 years is the sort of equivalent of 3 A levels, I believe. And it also opens up more opportunities in terms of the type of apprenticeships that are available to you at the end of those 2 years. Can we go on to the next slide? I think I've covered everything there. So the Institute of Technology have recently been involved with us and given a massive investment of £600,000 for the department. It's allowed us to create a very specific food and drink industry workshop that makes us one of the leaders, if not the leader in the area for this sort of industry. David, I don't know if there's anything that you want to sort of add on to that sort of area in terms of what we're sort of able to offer, and how it actually links in with IT, I guess, the sort of the department itself with the PLCs and the programming that's involved with automation certainly links over to IT.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, like Mick said, £600,000 an awful lot of money. It's gone a long way. The equipment is more or less in situ in the department now. We haven't started it up in earnest yet, but it's good to go. It's got its own separate classroom. It's all how you would expect it to be in the food industry. So it's immaculately sterile, quite blinding actually, because it's all very white in there. It's got mechatronics, robotics, it's got the mechanical side of it. Every student's got their own individual workstation. For clearly you're not going to be creating chocolates on a production line. That's not what we're about. We're about the maintenance of the kit. We're about troubleshooting of the kit, how to set it up, and it's all there. it says on the slide there was a consortium of colleges. I think there are 6 colleges and universities involved in the Institute of Technology, and we were singled out because of our excellence really in engineering to run with one of the kind of focal points in this area for jobs and skills gaps really. We've got the industries here for the food industry, but we don't have enough engineers. So it opens up some brilliant opportunities for young people who get qualified in the food industry side of engineering in particular. If you just have a look around, do some Googling of it, you will see how many food industries there are in Sherburn, out towards Bridlington and Scarborough, and even in the Selby area. The jobs are there. We need more engineers. My role and my background is IT, and I've been brought in to oversee the 2 departments really to get them integrated and to collaborate and use the skills from IT to complement what's going on in engineering and get that lab and that workshop working to the best of its ability. And it's really quite exciting. Mick likes that side of it. He's heavily involved in 3D and CAD work. If we start to get the PLC programming in and we write bespoke programs for industry, which is what they're after now, they don't want off-the-shelf solutions, they expect their engineer to be able to do that. Maybe not every engineer has every skill, but there are new jobs appearing all the time in engineering that probably don't even exist right now. And we are doing our best to collaborate with people like the Institute of Technology so that we are ready and we get you ready, so that in 2 or 3 years' time, when you graduate, you have those new skills. And as Mick mentioned about opportunities and financial opportunities within engineering, if we can be proactive enough to identify the right industries and the right skills, then you'll go on to have a really, really strong career. You'll be headhunted and you'll be sought after. Of course, it takes a lot of commitment, and you need to be the very best that you can be within that industry and the skills that we teach you. But that's why we're there. We're there to support you and to make sure that we drive you forward with it, and we have the skills to pass on to you. So it's an exciting time, really, and that I would imagine as things evolve in the next year or so, it would be integrated into our apprenticeship program. There will certainly be elements of it in our level 3. Perhaps not level 2, but level 3, and we would hope most people graduate to at least level 3. So you will get a taste of it, or you can absorb yourself in that industry as a focal point. You could become a food and drink industry apprentice. We have a number of them now. We've got 4-year groups of them, probably about 30 plus apprentices from that industry, from all over the north of England, actually, and even further afield than that, coming to Selby. And that was before we got this workshop. So we are ready and primed to really get you where you need to be with it. It's exciting.
Definitely.
So yeah, I'll pass that one back to you now, Mick.
I think that's pretty much sums up that definitely with in terms of the investment and the companies that we're linked with. One of which is Drax, which we've just recently had a major partnership with. It is supposed to be over 5 years, and it's allowing us to give very specific training and retraining to develop their certain skills for clean technologies, which is the food and drink industry. Definitely, it's another slide says it's £180,000 partnership over the 5 years. Is that invested, David, purely in the engineering department, or is that being split between all sort of STEM projects?
We would take the lion's share of it. It's what they're doing is sponsoring the college effectively. The building that you can see on the photograph there is the engineering building. You can see the entranceway there to it, and it's up to us to really make the very most of that investment for the engineering department. Clearly, Drax are from the energy industry. They're moving towards zero carbon or even negative carbon. That transition's happening right now. Just today and yesterday, Mick received a phone call, and the department received a phone call to discuss higher national apprenticeships with Drax. as we're speaking, that is evolving. There's going to be over 10 of those. And like the food industry isn't going anywhere. Of course it isn't, but it's evolving. It's becoming much more technical. But so is the energy industry. You've all kind of lived in the shadow of these huge power station chimneys. And they're going away. They have to go away. We've got to do right by the planet. And Drax acknowledge that they want to be part of that move as well. So Selby College, in partnership, we're ready and primed. We still don't know what all those job roles are. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Will it be wind farming? Will it be something even more technical that we don't even know about yet? So that keeps us on our toes, actually, and keeps us excited. And I'm sure you feel the same about getting involved in that. It's not only exciting from an interest point of view, but from a career point of view, it gets you, your foot is in the door right at the beginning when these job roles are only just coming out, the food industry and the energy industry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it could literally go in any direction, this and engineering and the technical IT side of it will be right there in amongst it all. So
definitely,
yeah, exciting times. Are you okay to go on with this one, Mick, with the Siemens partnership?
Yeah, I think I should be able to cover this. The Siemens company for the partnership that we've Siemens is a huge company, which has lots of different avenues. This one is particularly for rail. They're having a big department that is being built right now in Goole, I believe. It's going to open up massive opportunities for jobs. And we've got their first cohort of apprentices. And they're going to, again, it's a range of multi-skilling apprenticeship. That seems to be the driving force for most companies now with their apprenticeships, making sure that people are multi-skill. And it's going to keep on going for a number of years. I think that's, in terms of the actual Siemens partnership, it's the actual recruitment of apprentices is certainly going on for a number of years. So hopefully we'll just keep on going with that. And again, as the industry evolves through technology and the development and infrastructure in the engineering department, will keep on being a good link between the two.
Yeah, I mean, we're also hoping that we can have further collaboration with Siemens. Their site doesn't even exist in Goole at the moment. It hasn't even been built. Their apprentices that we've got, and we've got about 14 of them, 12 or 14, they've been headhunted, basically. They're the cream that Siemens could find within the region and the north of England. So they are the chosen ones, if you like. We're hoping we can send staff on work placements to learn a little bit more about Siemens as a company and the rail industry in particular. We've got HS2 coming on, and Siemens are bidding for certain aspects of that. So we're very, very well placed for an even stronger partnership that we're already really quite blessed to have. So more to come on that. Like I say, literally the site doesn't exist yet, but we're already delivering to their apprentices. So it will be onwards and upwards with that one. We can learn a lot from a company like Siemens. So it's great news.
And as we said before, the links that we're getting with companies only keep on expanding. We've always had a great relationship with Drax. They've taken on a number of our previous students. And this sort of project stems from Drax as well. There was a lot of funding involved in terms of getting part of this Green Power Street Race. It had a big emphasis last year with a whole new event which took place in Hull. You may have heard of it. We weren't quite sure how well we were going to do as part of it. It was the first time that we'd been involved, and students absolutely loved it. It took place after school, so it didn't interfere with the sort of learning of their actual course. but it's a real big team effort build. It's very technical. It gets people really thinking outside the box in terms of how we can get this kart to go as quickly as possible, changing gears, looking at aerodynamics, taking things as finely as adjusting tire pressure so that we can make sure that there's as less drag on the floor. As I said, we weren't quite sure how it was going to go, but the first event that we came to, which was the Hull street race, we actually won. We came first by quite a big margin. I think it was one of the best handling cars throughout the whole group. There was quite a lot of mechanical failures against the others that were taking place, so we built it particularly well. And it's an event that takes place across the entire country. There's lots of different racetracks, full-blown racetracks that we can be part of and actually drive round. It's an electric kart, so it's not just gravity led. And we were reaching upwards of almost 40 miles an hour on certain tracks. So when you're that close to the ground, it's certainly quite exhilarating. And as I say, it's a big team effort that gets people thinking, gets people cooperating as a team. It's a real fun event, and it's something that we aim to continue with, as it seems to be really appreciated by our students, and all the skills that you learn within the engineering courses come together to actually make this a successful event, and it is good to see how people sort of develop throughout the whole process of building these karts. We started off initially doing gravity racer events, and this has just been a natural progression.
I think it's fair to say that what the department have learned from this really is how much more students engage and get a context of what engineering is about, isn't it? When it's linked to something that is young men in particular and young girls, they're quite excited by passing the driving lessons soon and their tests. So if you build this into their engineering course, it's everything falling into place, isn't it? Like you said, and this may not be the only activity that we do this year. If we can find others that are regional or national, the college are not shy in investing in it. And some of the previous things I've talked about, like the Drax investment, Siemens investment, and even the IoT, we would look for funding for that, because it's not free to do things like this. You need the equipment, you need to sometimes free up timetabling and staff and transport costs and that type of thing. But it's an exciting thing to do, and we definitely want to do more of it. We know the students love it. It takes a lot of planning to do it, but the initiative's there, isn't it? I think it's as soon as COVID lightens up a little bit and we see what activities are out there, even if it's the spring before we can start them, we can put the resources in place and we can just go for it, can't we?
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of what we've said between Drax, the various different companies that we have on board with and we've got links with, and the extra projects that we do to try and keep you engaged, to keep you motivated and enjoying engineering, all leads to the success of our students. We have on here 2 of the students that were part of the Green Power racing kart. They were able to use that on their CV to show that they've done extracurricular activities, shown their enthusiasm for engineering and that their ability to work as a team, to problem solve. It really goes quite far when you're applying for apprenticeships to big companies. It makes you stand out against the rest that are applying, and there are a lot that want to get into engineering for good reason. And for these type of things to be able to put down on a CV, they make you stand out. And it's these sort of things that make you the cream of the crop such as the Siemens are with those apprentices, and lead you on to these exceptionally good jobs.
Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning, isn't it, Mick? We had a discussion today about Siemens and how a multinational company like that approach things. And something you may not realise is there's a kind of a fourth element to what they do at Siemens that sets them apart from any other qualifications or any other companies that we're involved with. And it's really about the personal development aspect of their apprentices. They've insisted when we negotiated contracts, etc., that a whole day of their 5-day program is dedicated to things like community projects, team building, leadership skills, bonding with the other students, communication skills. They put a massive emphasis on that. I mean, that one particular day of study is bigger than any other single area that we cover within their engineering timetable. So you can say if a company like that takes it seriously, it kind of drives home how important it is. I mean, we already know that as staff, that working on people's personal skills, soft skills, their personalities is important. But sometimes for students, as you're growing up yourself, you don't quite realise how an employer will view those kind of things. They do. They take it very, very seriously. We already address it within our curriculum. But seeing what Siemens have emphasised has drove it home even further, really, that we need to make sure that, you know, you're seen as an attractive prospect to an employer in amongst a sea of people with the same qualifications. As Mick said, that tiny little extra thing on your CV can really, really set you apart. And if you come across well, you present well, and you've got that extra element to your CV, that could make all the difference. And you could be the 1 out of 200, for instance, with Siemens, that gets that dream apprenticeship. You know, it could be somebody else like BA, Jaguar, Land Rover, big companies like that. They all have a strong focus on personal development.
It relaxes that awkwardness that people feel when they're in an interview for things like this. It gives you a point to talk about. It allows you to relax and really show your enthusiasm for things, and it allows them to be able to ask more questions about you and to see more of your personality and to see if you will fit in with the team. It's not all just about your qualifications. People want to make sure that you are an approachable person, that you can be developed, you're going to be someone that they can trust. And projects like these that allow you to be able to talk about them, show your enthusiasm for them, and your drive to get into the industry speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I've said before, that we're on board with a hell of a lot of companies, particularly with things sort of like food and drink industries. Here, we've just got a couple of the companies which we've had students go on to, and that we've been involved with at some point or another, and a list of a couple of the potential careers that come from those, from maintenance engineers, design engineers. There's lots in terms of project management, mechanical, electrical. There's testing engineers. There's a whole vast world of different sectors of engineering that can open up to you, and quite a lot of them that might be surprising are literally on our doorstep and that we are involved with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go on about it too much because there's some company names listed there. But one of our biggest strengths is we've got such strong relationships with all of the big players in the Selby and the broader Yorkshire area. We have people coming in from Carlisle district. We've got people from Bridlington, from Scarborough, and on our doorstep in Selby as well. So some really big names. I mean, there are very few, if any, competitors in our area really that offer apprenticeships in an FE setting with a building like you saw at the beginning. We're extremely proud of it, and we're successful, and you know, we worked hard to get there. Right, Nick, so if we just we'll wrap it up there. We've got a little bit over time, but you know, you can speed it up actually now that it's on video and you're not having to wait for the opportunity. You can see the info mailbox at the bottom there, the address. You can also see the college reception phone number, and that will put you through to either, you know, myself or to Mick or any one of the engineering team. Will answer any questions that you've got as a result of this. As I said at the outset, if we ever get to the point where we can do a physical open day, we would welcome that massively. You know, we love to meet young people, see the smiles on the faces, show off our amazing facilities. The food and drink automated workshop we've talked about needs to be seen to be believed. But so does the welding workshop and the machining workshop, the classrooms, the pneumatics. That whole building is engineering. It started in one room many years ago, 10 years ago plus. We've now taken over the whole department, and that's testimony really to the links we've got with industry and how successful we've been really, and how popular engineering courses are. And so they should be. The world, people who work hard, the world's their oyster really with engineering, and we'll be adding to that with a technical twist, bringing in the IT and the more technical aspects of you know, mechatronics, robotics, AI, augmented reality. Everything's on the table at this point. We will explore all of it, and we will try and come up with the jobs for the future for you young people.